But to make it even worse, the tanks themselves are leaking.
300 tons worth of radioactive water leaked right into the ground, even after weeks of denying that any such leak had taken place. Who knows how much of it is washing into the ocean?
We went to TEPCO's headquarters to try and get a direct answer on their lack of transparency, but they wouldn't even let us in the building. The head of PR met us on the front steps, flanked by handlers.
我々は情報公開をきちんとやっていくことは大事だと思っておりますし。
It took TEPCO 2 years to admit that 300 tons of contaminated water were going into the Pacific Ocean. So why would people in the international community or Japan believe TEPCO now?
申し訳ないですけど、もうそれ以上。
Sorry, but it's been out of time, so.
TEPCO's representatives wouldn't talk to us, but we were able to track down one of their employees, who, as long as his image was concealed, was willing to tell us what he believes is the real extent of the damage.
Is TEPCO trying to cover up how bad the water leakage is?
そうですね。はい。それ以外にも非常にたくさんの大きな問題、そういったものが無数にあります。事故から3年近く経ちますが、その中で最初の頃にポンプであったりホースであったり、そして建屋そのもの、そういったものが次々と壊れ始めています。それはだんだん悪くなっています。それぐらいの大きなトラブル、また冷却が止まってしまったりするというようなことが可能性もゼロではないと思います。
Hearing more about the terrible conditions in the facility, we needed to see it for ourselves. After numerous attempts to gain access to the Daiichi facility, we were finally granted permission, but only if we were accompanied by an appointed government official.
We are driving right now with Mr. Kino, who is from the Ministry of Economic, Trade, and Industry. He's on a mission to show everyone that there's nothing to be worried about. That doesn't sound good.
Despite the high radiation levels and the government mandate that all visitors within the exclusion zone need to wear protective suits, Mr. Kino refused to wear any protective gear at all, explaining he wanted to show our cameras and the world that the Fukushima area was safe.
These guys are wearing suits. These are TEPCO employees. We've just been told to leave by TEPCO that we're not supposed to be here, so we're going to get out of here right now. Mr. Kino, why does TEPCO not want us to be here?
理由はよくわからない。
Clearly there's more going on here than TEPCO or the government is willing to admit. Add this to the fact that the Japanese government has just passed a law that could impose a 10-year prison sentence on those who leak state secrets, a law that journalists are concerned could be used to silence Fukushima whistleblowers, and the future of Japan begins to look even more bleak.
本当の真実になかなかアクセスしにくくなると。
The government trying to silence people cannot change the dark reality of radiation that may only rear its head in generations to come.
Because of the cover-ups, what could have been a minor nuclear accident became one of the greatest nuclear disasters of all time.
このまま続けると、日本が大変なだけじゃないと、地球が大変なことになるというふうに思います。
For this next story on nuclear waste, I want to bring in redacted political correspondent Sam Sachs. How you doing?
Thank you.
How you doing, Sam?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Lee.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Lee, when I say the words nuclear radiation, what do you think of?
Godzilla.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think of Godzilla every time. Every time I think of Godzilla.
Yeah.
Well, I want to tell you that there's another problem with nuclear radiation, and it's right here in the United States.
Hold on. They promised that there would never be another problem beyond Godzilla.
Yeah, I know. I know they promised that, Lee, but there's another problem, and anytime someone talks about it, they get silenced.
Just like the Pelican Brief.
Just like the Pelican Brief. That's right.
Okay. I'm Denzel, though.
God damn it, you always get to be Denzel Washington every time we...
Yeah. Let's see your report.
All right, here's my report. It's on nuclear waste in America, where I'm not Denzel, like always. Along the banks of the Columbia River, in picturesque tree-hugging Washington state, sits the Hanford nuclear site, where decades of scientists screwing around with nukes has left a massive mess. Basically, the Department of Energy's largest, most expensive project right now is cleaning up that nuclear mess created by the Department of Energy's previous, largest, most expensive project. But it gets even worse at Hanford. Paul Gunter with Beyond Nuclear.
We have a time bomb, an atomic time bomb from both the nuclear weapons complex and the nuclear energy complex co-located in perhaps one of the most seismically active areas in the Western Hemisphere.
Worser than that.
There's about 53 million gallons of high-level nuclear waste in these tanks. A third of them have been leaking.
Or worse.
This is all moving into the Columbia River right now.
Even worser.
Co-located with a Fukushima-style reactor.
And one more worse.
That whole complex sits below a dam on the Columbia River that's got a 65-foot crack in it.
Okay, so the situation at Hanford isn't ideal. But the Department of Energy has a cleanup plan that will cost more than $113 billion and won't be completed until 2090. Humans will likely be extinct by then or have developed brain snorkels to eat radiation.
The half-life of plutonium is 25,000 years, and then 10 to 20 half-lives. You know, we're talking about, millennium.
When they say that Hanford's going to be cleaned by 2090, what they really mean is that Hanford will be cleaned by 21,090. Even the workers at Hanford are speaking out. Donna Bushy was a nuclear engineer for the subcontractor in charge at Hanford, URS. She warned that safety procedures to respond to a nuclear leak at the site were flawed, and she was promptly fired. In fact, Bushy is at least the third senior project official removed from the job after raising safety concerns. That's when the Secretary of Energy stepped in, Ernest Moniz. Finally recovered from his days as Hunter S. Thompson's drug-addled attorney, met with concerned workers at Hanford, including Walter Tomasitis. After that meeting, however, Tomasitis was fired, and 4 other people who met with Moniz were fired, transferred, or pushed out. In March, a Senate subcommittee held a hearing into what's going on at Hanford, where we learned that whistleblowers like Bushy and Tomasitis aren't just up against the Department of Energy, or their subcontractor bosses. They're up against me, too. Well, all of us.
Contractors can litigate on our dime?
That's right. We, the taxpayers, pay all of the nuclear barons' legal costs, including fighting whistleblower retaliation suits. Meanwhile, the problems continue at Hanford.
This is the history of the nuclear conundrum. There'll be no benefit, but only liability for thousands, tens of thousands of years.
Unless we develop those snorkels that eat the radiation. Is it possible that radioactive waste can lead to mutations that are beneficial for people?
I think that it's a,
if you had Magneto's powers to bend and twist metal, you could shut down nuclear plants around the world. No nukes. Of course, I guess to get Magneto's power, you need to be exposed to radiation, so you would need nukes in the long run anyways. You kind of look like Magneto. This week, when President Obama proposed a 30% reduction in carbon emissions from fossil fuel plants, the Nuclear Energy Institute responded by saying, "Our nation will need to increase its reliance on nuclear energy as we move deeper into the 21st century. And that will mean a lot more Hanfords or Fukushimas, places that we can just relegate to radioactive dead zones forever. We just find the right place, somewhere that's unpopular to the rest of the country, someplace that's already described as a little toxic. Ooh, a place that has no political representation so that even if the people who live there wanted to say no, they couldn't. What? In radiated Washington, D.C., Sam Sachs, redacted tonight. How long until my sushi gets here? Do I just stick it through the holes?
Sam Sachs, everybody!
It's a brave new world, everybody. It's a brave new world.
All right, it's time for a quick word from our sponsor.
Hidden high up in a tower, from the world concealed. Midnight, the breaking hour, when the truth will be revealed. The facadas of a stronger, to a naked king we kneel. Yeah, your nose is growing longer, when will you become real? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why you're waiting for this. Lying dormant in a bottle, while your secrets keep. She fooled you with an apple, now the spell is long and deep. Bleeding finger on this window, 100 years until we meet. From the path you fell to find a wolf dressed like a sheep. Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why you languish trapped in your abyss. Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why are you just waiting for his kiss? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Poppy fields, velvet curtain, no place quite like home. So you sold your voice for certain risk to gain a human soul. Through a hole you're in her garden, queen takes you as a pawn. You were never ugly, darling, all this time you've been a swan. Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why you languish trapped in your abyss. Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why, can you wake up? Tell me why you're waiting for this. Why can't you wake up? Why don't you wake up? Why can't you wake up? Why do you wait for this, baby? Why can't you wake up? Why don't you wake up? Why can't you wake up? Why do you wait for this? Yeah, there is no time to waste now, darling. Sleeping through the life you'll miss. Still in time we taste, oh darling. Why do you wait for this? There is no time to waste now, darling. Sleeping through the life you'll miss. Still in time we taste, oh darling. Do you wait here for his kiss?
Everyone secretly suspected you would never watch this entire web video, but by God, you showed them. For more, keep checking